Even though narcissists can be very delusional, there's grand delusional narcissists and psychopaths that will just shift blame right away. But deep down, the highly intelligent ones, they know that it's their disorder. They know that things are going to play out this way in 3 or 4 months, maybe sooner. They're just going to get bored. Hi, my name is Kita. Welcome back to Psychopath Exposure. Hope everyone's having an amazing weekend, or weekday, or weeknight. See, I don't know when you guys are watching these videos, but either way, welcome. If this is your first time here in the channel, we cover a lot of things. We talk about psychopaths, we talk about narcissists, we talk about toxic relationships, broken people, we talk about trauma, we talk about a lot of things. But today we're going to be talking about monsters. Not Dracula, although I consider a lot of narcissists to be energy vampires. And I will be making a video on that. But today's video is going to be a direct response to a comment that Maura Mulvey left about a month back. And it's going to be a two-part video because the reply that came after is also very interesting, but I will be making a video separate for that, and then I will link that video in the description so you guys can watch the follow-up. So let's just jump right to it. Maura says, I actually came across a note that he wrote on a piece of paper. He wrote in large capital letters, "Am I a monster?" He did not write an answer to his own question. At the time that I read this, I was confused as to why he wrote this down, since it was at the beginning of our relationship. I should have taken that as a red flag of things to come, because a monster is an understatement of what he was. He also verbally told me when we first started dating, "Stay away from me. I'm toxic." Another red flag that I ignored. It's been almost 1 year since he discarded me, and thank God he's no longer in my life. 15 months of misery with him. So happy it's over. Thanks for that, Maura. I don't think anybody would bat an eye over a little note that you stumbled upon. I don't know if that was, you said it was a piece of paper, could have been a napkin at a restaurant, it doesn't matter. It's a little uncanny. But then again, is it? Like, I don't know the context of that, but it's not something that I would think anybody who hasn't been through a traumatic experience of dating a psychopath, a narcissist psychopath, would bat an eye at. So you can't really blame yourself. And I want you to put that stick down, because although we see it as a red flag, I don't consider that a red flag. What we have to talk about are the things that surround that question, the other actions. Because once you grasp the knowledge of the patterns of a psychopath, of a narcissist, then you can go back in time, which we all do after that relationship ends. When you go back, you notice those little things and you remember, they told me what they were. Oh, that's right, that makes sense now. But how are you supposed to know? As a matter of fact, I always see those questions, and the reason I speak from experience, because my psychopath ex alluded to things like this too. And I didn't understand it at the time. And she even wanted me to read this anime, this manga book that was called Monster. She always wanted me to read it. I think she was very interested in me understanding her disorder. And I was very ignorant at the time. I didn't know. And the pattern plays itself the way it's going to play itself. And once that boredom kicks in with these psychos and with these narcissists, there's nothing you can do to save that relationship. But I do recall moments. I've mentioned this in previous videos where she would tell me things. She was doing acid at some point, and she looked into a photograph of herself while she was tripping. And she told me that it morphed into a skeleton. And so she saw herself at that moment for what she really was. She was able to recognize that. So most likely, Maura, your ex knew what he was already dropping hints, was coming to the self-aware realization that he's a monster, that he's toxic, that he can never, ever be content. It's never going to be enough, no matter what relationship he's in, no matter how incredibly amazing it is. He's going to self-sabotage it. He's going to get bored. He's going to find fault in it. He's going to experience fear at some point. Like, psychopaths don't really feel fear, but a lot of narcissists do. The fear of abandonment. Remember, narcissists are made, right? They're either predispositioned for it, and then something plays out, a traumatic experience at a very young age happens, and it unlocks that. It unlocks not that achievement, maybe that dark achievement, but it happens, right? And a lot of them have a fear of abandonment, a fear of losing control. If anything, psychopaths will tell you, they'll tell you this, but the studies have been shown that they don't register fear the way a human or a non-psychopath narcissist would. But there is a sense of awareness that they're going to lose control. There's a sense of awareness that they may lose their source of supply, their source of fuel. What that thing is, that magical thing that you possess, that they want or that they need from you. They're aware that they could lose it. They're aware when they're about to lose it. If they slip, if the mask starts coming off, if somehow you're onto them. So they may not experience fear the same way we do, but they do experience that forthcoming lack, okay? And they always want to make sure that they have their grounds covered, that they have a backup plan. They always make sure they have enough supply in their reserves to keep, finding success in their journey here on the planet. So it's possible that your narcissist had already come to that awareness that no matter what relationship he gets in, it always crumbles, and it's always his fault. Even though narcissists can be very delusional, there's grand delusional narcissists and psychopaths that will just shift blame right away. But deep down, the highly intelligent ones, they know that it's their disorder. They know that things are going to play out this way in 3 or 4 months, maybe sooner. They're just going to get bored. And once they get bored and they lose interest in you, they're going to devalue you. If this is your first time watching videos like these, narcissists and psychopaths, they follow a pattern, the narcissistic pattern, where at the beginning they're love bombing you and they're grooming you and they're very excited and they actually see potential in you. They see a potential candidate for success and happiness and infinite supply, and they really believe that they're going to make it work and that you're heaven sent. And then they just get bored and they start finding faults. They realize that you're not perfect. They realize that they idealized you so high and then you were not able to meet that expectation. So now they're disappointed, and the boredom grows and the boredom grows, and then they find a shiny new object that they latch onto. Now they start grooming that candidate. Meanwhile, you're in their way now. Meanwhile, you're a burden to them. Meanwhile, they've already recognized that you're not bringing as much value to their life as they thought. And this new candidate over here, this new shiny object does. So it makes more sense, especially for a psychopath that can, and I'm not talking about a deranged psychopath with, coupled with addictions and other types of mental disorders. We're talking about just narcissistic psychopaths, highly intelligent, where they can just calculate every piece of data and just realize you're no longer worth a nickel in my life. I can get everything that you were giving me and more with the new candidate. So it makes no logical sense to spend any more of my resources on you. And they shift focus and they go to the next one. This doesn't mean that they're going to ruin your life or anything like that, but emotionally, it's gonna feel like it, because they're not gonna give you any more attention. You're gonna get silent treatments. You're gonna get devalued, and you may think, based on that behavior, you may think that that's overall that's how they are. Little do you know that when they're spending time with the new supply, as we call them here in the community, they're showing them their best side, like they did with you. They're showing them the best side. They're actually excited. They recognize, okay, this is a candidate that possesses all the things that I need in my life right now that's going to get me to the next level. My psychopath ex, and you know, I used to talk about her a lot in earlier videos with a lot of disdain and anger. But there were many moments of I don't want to say weakness, but there were many moments that she would do things like you just described, and she would get very, very depressed, and she would tell me, you don't understand, you know, how I feel inside, and I'm different. You know, I'm different from anybody you've ever met. I know you're trying hard to understand me, but you just don't understand. I'm not like you, and I struggle with empathy. And she was basically telling me what she was. I had no idea. You had no idea. Most people in this community had no idea. So you have to put the stick down. I know that when you get out of this situation and you get stronger, and this happened to me too, you get stronger after you have a lot of no contact, and you turn your life around, you do the work like I always say, and you start experiencing the amazing things that God and the universe have for you, right? Now that you're out of that dark web, you start getting a little cocky, and you're like, oh, you start kind of like giving yourself props for ending it, and you shift all your attention now you're kind of like in the power seat, because it's not that you've gained power, but in a sense you've gained your soul again. Because these psychopaths, they suck your soul out. That's what it feels like. So once you get your natural light and your natural energy again, and you have the confidence again, and you can see all these things that didn't make sense before, now all the pieces start fitting in, all the pieces of the puzzle start coming together. So you feel a little more confident. You feel a lot more confident about how those things played out, and you're not looking at the past anymore with so much fear and so much anxiety, and you know, the PTSD starts to wear off for the most part. It becomes dormant a lot of times. But you do get a little bit of confidence, and I think it's healthy confidence, because sometimes you need confidence to move forward. It's like in any sport, like say basketball, you can go on a funk, and you're just missing shots and missing shots. Now, a good shooter is going to continue to shoot himself out of that funk, and then eventually, now he's on a streak. Right? But someone that has no confidence will let a few missed shots just drain them of all the confidence. Now they're hesitant to take shots. And you know what happens when you don't take a shot? You have 100% chance of missing that shot, right? It's not going to go in. Impossible, because you're not even shooting it. So it's like 0% chance of making it, 100% chance of it not going in, because there is no shot. See how I flipped the numbers around, and I got to the same result, right? You know, and as I said, you guys have to understand a lot of the information about toxic relationships, narcissists, psychopaths. Even if you're not a psychologist, you have to look at the bigger picture, not the nuances. It's just the bigger picture. You're in a toxic relationship, but why is it toxic? Why is it toxic? Is it because of a diagnosis that most likely your partner hasn't had and never will get diagnosed of? It's toxic because of the patterns of behavior, the things that you guys leave in the comments that are messing with your head, your experience, what you went through, the love bomb, and then the devaluation, and then the discard, and the lying, and the cheating, and the silent treatments, and the games. That's why it was toxic. That's why it was toxic. You don't have to be a full-fledged psychopath to be toxic in a relationship. There's addicts, right, that have a very good heart, and the addiction itself and what they do to get their fix is detrimental to the family, is detrimental to the relationship. That doesn't make them a narcissist, right? So you have to always look at the bigger picture and say, hey, you know what? A lot of these things make sense, but some of these things are a little too complicated, but who cares? Let's put everything down. Bottom line, let's look at this relationship. Is this relationship working for me in the sense, is it giving me, is it meeting my needs as a human being? Am I getting love? Am I receiving love? Am I able to give love back and it's being received by the other person? Because again, a narcissist, a psychopath, they're incapable not only of giving love and empathy, but they're incapable of receiving it. And you know when someone is actually genuinely receiving your love, and you can tell when someone's flat out rejecting it. Maybe they're rejecting it out of fear. They're afraid of getting attached. There may be some trauma that's attached to that. I just said attached twice, but yeah, there may be some trauma that's directly linked with their fear of becoming attached again, because last time they were attached to somebody, they got hurt. This happens to a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse. Moving forward after they get out of this, now they have a little bit of fear of, oh, what if I attract another one? What if I give all of myself again? And it's a worst narcissist. It's a psychopath. What if that happens again? It's possible. It's not probable, but it's possible. Now, if you go back to the same places where you attracted these people in the first place, and you ignore the red flags that you know are red flags now that you know what you know, now you know what a real red flag is. If you see them and you turn the other way, then it's more probable that you'll attract another of these predators. But you have to have the confidence to take your shot. You have to have your confidence maybe to take multiple shots. You date someone and it doesn't go your way. You're not a good fit. That doesn't mean that you have to make it work, or I'm just going to stick around to make this work because deep inside I know this is a good person and they're healthy, but you're just not attracted to them. Maybe there's no chemistry. Maybe the communication is poor. Maybe they lack a zest for life. Maybe your goals don't align, right? Just because they're a healthy person and it's a healthy relationship doesn't mean that you guys are a good fit. So you took your shot. You took your shot and you dated and you tried it for a few months and it's not working. You have an opportunity to practice honesty. You have an opportunity of practicing being true to yourself, having a conversation with your partner and telling, hey, look, it's not you. And really, it's not even me. It's just, I don't feel we're a good fit. I don't feel the spark. I don't feel this is not what I'm looking for, and I don't want to lead you on or mislead you anymore. It's better to break up amicably. And that's the best way to break up. Both people will walk out of that relationship with respect. Now, if you're coming into it where you're desperately looking for love, desperate not to be alone anymore, then you know what comes with that. It's like at that point, you're low-hanging fruit, right? And you're going to be prey for the narcissists that are going to smell. They're going to smell that desperation the same way a shark smells blood miles and miles away in the ocean. So don't be desperate, all right? But look, there's a lot of red flags that after you do the work and you learn about this stuff, you're going to start recognizing in a lot of people. You're going to recognize it in family members. You're going to see it in Hollywood. You're going to see it all over the place. And some people, even though you see those traits, they're still genuinely good people. They're bringing good into the world, right? But they just can't make a relationship work, right? Maybe relationships are not for them, right? That doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to do the same horrible things that you experience. You don't know that because you don't know this person. You may see something in a coworker, you may see something, a little manipulation. I think we all have an ability to manipulate, not in a malicious way. So, everybody can tell white lies. Sometimes you have to lie to get a promotion, and you lie about, your resume or something like that. That doesn't mean that, oh, that person's a narcissist. Oh, they're a narcissist because they lied about this. It's different, guys. Again, you have to look at the bigger picture. You have to realize we're all human and we're not perfect. We're all trying to figure this out together, right? It's the malignancy, if that's even such a word. It's the malignancy, and I'm going to repeat it. The malignancy, that's 3 times, that I don't even know if it's a word or not, but it's the malignancy of these predators that they know they're hurting you. They know that what they're doing is causing you grief, and they know that by doing so, they have control over you, right? They're controlling you by creating a reaction that doesn't allow you to focus on your job. You can't sleep. You can't enjoy anything that you're doing because narcissist over there decides to give you the silent treatment. You don't know where they are. They could be home, probably cheating, but they could be home, but they're just giving you the silent treatment to control you, to make you go crazy, so that all of your energy is drained, and then when they finally call you or return your text or whatnot, that's how they have control. It's like, okay, I call you when I want, and you're still gonna be there for me. You see that? You see how that plants that seed where they can go off and do what they want, and whenever they come back, you're going to take their call. Whether you fight or not, you're not going to send them to hell. You're going to stay in the relationship because you are under their spell. That's an unhealthy pattern of behavior. That's an unhealthy relationship right there. Those are the real red flags. And when you're out of that situation, and then you remember, wow, they wrote on a note that they were a monster, or they were asking if they were a monster, now that makes sense. Because maybe this is not their first rodeo. Maybe this had already happened before. And it's the same shit and the same shit and the same shit. And they've gotten to a point where it's like, wow, I ruin everything I touch. Right? So now moving forward, you date someone and they write on a piece of paper, something like that, or they tell you, hey, you know what, we probably shouldn't be dating because I'm toxic, or I have this, or I have that. You know what? Especially at the beginning of the relationship, you're not invested. You're emotionally not invested yet. It's impossible. You may want to walk away from that now. You may want to walk away. In the past, you saw the note and maybe you were curious. What does he mean by this? I don't know what's in your head, but it's possible. I mean, if I would have seen something like that, I'm just speculating here. It's like, oh, my monster, that sounds interesting. Oh, what type of trauma do they have? Maybe I can be their light, their white knight bullshit, right? White knight syndrome, which happens to a lot of men and even a lot of women, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna save them. I'm gonna show them that life is not that cruel. That they, I'm gonna be their rock. And ultimately, you want to be in a relationship where both of you are there for each other. Both of you put each other first in the relationship, or at least top 3, because you're trying to start a family. You're partners, right? But with a narcissist, it's always a one-way street. Is what have you done for me lately? What can you do for me in the forthcoming future, right? And I'm not going to do anything for you. In fact, I'm going to take away less and less and less, right? That's how it is in a narcissistic relationship. But congratulations that it was only 15 months of misery and not 15 years. Congratulations. And yeah, I hope you are happy that it's over. I hope you are happy that it's over. And I can tell you it's gonna get better from here on out. And the day will come that you won't need to watch videos like this anymore. At least maybe not for a long period of time. Maybe as a refresher. There's gonna come a time where this is gonna get pushed behind you. And you're gonna be doing amazing things. And you're gonna rebuild your social circle if you haven't already. You're gonna meet an amazing person and you're gonna have a great relationship. If that's what you want, if that's what you want to pursue, then that's what you're gonna get. But you have to develop that confidence, and you have to take your shot, and you have to move forward. All right, I would love to help you or anybody in this community that's still stuck in their toxic relationship with a narcissist, with a psychopath, with an addict even. I had a lot of experience in a relationship with an addict long ago in my early journey. But I have some information in the description of this video on my coaching program. It's a private one-on-one coaching program. I work with a lot of survivors here in the community. And I would love to help you, love to workshop the situation with you, help you find your inner light again, help you find the confidence that you need to be where you want to be in life again. Because sometimes it feels like these relationships that we got into, these entanglements, it was kind of like a detour that sent you off course, right? But there is a silver lining. Sometimes you did have to go on that side mission to develop the skill that you needed for something that was waiting for you in your real path. And then when you get there, you look back and you realize, damn, I was destined to go on that detour. I was supposed to go on that detour because there's no way in hell I would have been here had I not deviated from my path to conquer that monster, to defeat that dragon, that snake, that reptile. Develop that confidence, develop that skill to get to where I am now. And now the sky is the limit. So eventually you get to look back at the situation and realize, damn, was that necessarily a bad thing, or was that just one of life's challenges that gets thrown on you to help you become your best version, right? So that's up to you to figure out when you get there. That's up to you to see those silver linings, right? To get excited that you're seeing, like with a different pair of glasses now, that you can see a different perspective, right? And then what's going to happen now? Your brain is going to be filled with brand new neurotransmitters, and they're just going to start wiring and connecting and creating new thoughts, higher frequency thoughts. And you can reframe all this stuff, all this trauma, as something positive that was supposed to happen. Just like any type of hard work that you have to do, any type of boot camp, any type of military training or sports training, pretty much almost anything in life that you're trying to learn a skill is going to be difficult at first, right? And once you start looking at it that way, it's no longer going to haunt you the way it used to. But it takes time to get there. It's not an instant thing. We work through those things in my coaching program, but it does take a long time because, you know, it's psychological, right? There's a lot of work, there's a lot of willpower that's involved, and the narcissist has robbed you of all that willpower. The narcissist has robbed you of that self-confidence. The narcissist has stolen your soul, right? Has stolen your energy like an energy vampire. But things do get better. So thanks again for sending that comment in. I will be making the video about the reply in my next video, and I'll put a link in the description for that. So that's it for today, guys. If you got value out of this, as always, drop a like in the video, leave a comment with your experiences, any type of early red flags that you looked the other way at the beginning. Write those things down, because I'm willing to bet that a lot of you at the beginning of the relationship with your psychopath or with your narcissist, there were little hints that they would drop that were uncanny, that now that you can look back and it's crystal, and now you're like, ah, shit, there it was. I wish I would have known what I've known, right? But it's like any movie. You watch a movie like The Sixth Sense, for example, and at the end of that film, I'm not going to spoil it, but at the end of that film, it shows you all the clues that were right there in front of you from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And you just didn't see them. And then you're like, holy shit. It was all there. How did I not know? It was all there. That's why I love that film. It's such a twist in the end. And that's the thing with these people. All those signs were always there. As a matter of fact, here's what I want you to do. I have a video. You can click on the card up here. It's also going to be in the description. I want you to watch this video about how the red flags were always there. and why you didn't see them. I go into detail about that. So be sure you watch that video right now. And I'm going to stop this video now so you can go ahead and watch that one. But I will see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching to the end. My name is Kira, and this is Psychopath Exposure. Thanks for all the love and support. If you haven't subscribed to the video, please subscribe now so you can get more videos like this notified. And if you have any videos in particular that you want me to cover, any topics maybe in the media that you would like me to cover, please, again, leave a comment below and let me know. All right? Hope you guys have an amazing day or an evening, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.